Hi, Vikram. Are you able to hear me?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Yes.
Yeah, okay. Hi, Rakesh. Can you hear us?
I think Rakesh's microphone is on mute.
Yeah, I saw that.
Are we expecting some more people?
Yeah, there should be more. So we'll wait for a few more minutes at least.
Sure.
Hi, Rakesh. Your mic is on mute. If you can hear us, just you can unmute your mic and then say something. Prajwal, have you RSVP'd the meetup, today's meetup?
No, I guess. I didn't actually.
Okay, no, I wanted to check because for those who are RSVP'd, I sent the link.
Okay. I'll just have a check.
Hello, Vikram.
Hi, Wasim. What's up, man? How are you?
Good, very good. How are you?
Good.
You cleaned up everything. See me. I'm going everywhere.
I can't see everything. I just have to take your word.
How are you doing?
I'm good, man. So going on. Did you see my app?
I don't have an Android system anymore at home. Check.
What? Not even one phone you have? Android?
No. I have it in mom's phone, but I don't use it. I didn't do anything with that.
Okay. It's on Google Store. You asked as if you were going to do it only if it is on Google Store, and I told you it is at Google Store, and you still haven't downloaded it.
What did I ask about? Your app?
If it was on app, if the app was on Google Store. So, Wasim, you had RSVP'd to the Bangalore meetup.
Which one? This meetup?
This meetup.
I don't remember when I saw the comment that only people who have RSVP'd would get the link.
Yeah.
Then I went back and checked my email and I saw the link. So mostly I may have done it. I don't know.
Yeah. That's why you received it, because I was just checking to make sure that only those who RSVP'd get it. I couldn't check it. So since you have got it that way, then makes sense.
Yeah, but I am not sure whether I had RSVP'd or not.
Okay,
So I have the link in the email.
Good one. At least you received it. Oh, let me see.
Ido, tell me one
Because
quick
we
question before others join. Yeah.
Go on.
There is a limitation on the if somebody transfers bitcoins from abroad to you, is there a limit to withdraw that or something? What's the laws or rules around it?
Withdraw Bitcoin, you can have your Bitcoin any amount in your wallet and withdraw it to another wallet. Withdraw it to INR?
No. INR, yeah.
There's no limit. It's 50 lakh rupees per person per day. In one exchange, you can have 10 exchanges. Yeah, you can do up to 5 crores per day.
So you're talking of the exchange thing, right? As an individual, if I receive a crore, can I, if that person transfers a crore worth of bitcoins to my wallet here, I can change that to INR?
Yeah, you can. You can change up to
and that's
5
legal.
crores.
And that's legal. There will not be any implications.
That implication is for you in your bank account. Where would you receive your rupees? Is in your bank account. You have to give your bank account to your CA to verify those incomings.
So your liability would end once the amount of the bitcoins are transferred and they try and withdraw it from bank accounts. Or are you still liable for it?
No, I give you your money to your bank. From your bank, you receive your money in your bank. That's your liability now. From where you got the rupees.
So the bank would question where you got that money from?
No, the bank doesn't question. Your CA will question. If you're giving your bank details. Yeah.
Okay.
So your CA, you have to disclose all the information to your CA, how many bank accounts you have and what is the incomings and outgoings. So that CA will ask you from where you got the money. You tell him you traded crypto or you received for payments. Then you pay accordingly income tax or trade tax, whatever, income tax mostly. Or if you've stored Bitcoin and it was bought by you and you stole it after a few years and it was like a capital gain, then you pay capital gains tax. So whatever happens in cash is not recorded. For cash, you have to do self-regulation. For whatever goes in your bank is recorded in your bank already. So you do it.
Okay.
So I don't know why others are not able to get the link. Is why I was checking.
Post it on the Meetup chat itself. Yeah. Directly. What's up with the bloody lockdown? Today and tomorrow is the curfew, or are you guys open?
I didn't understand. In terms of, it's the same everywhere, half and half. Tomorrow is what you're talking about, Sunday?
Yeah.
Sunday, I heard about the curfew, but I don't know. First Sunday, it's coming up tomorrow, so we'll have to experience it. Okay, I posted the link. Let's see. I couldn't verify the email is received or not because my email itself have not received. Only you have received.
9 minutes back you sent, right? It says today's Meetup meeting link and you send. That email is there with me.
Super. So at least you got it.
In Mysore or Bangalore?
Bangalore, man. Very much. So did you meet Prajwal?
No, I don't guess we met earlier.
No. Hey, Prajwal.
Yeah, I've seen.
Yeah, I've come to the house a couple of times, I guess. Right? Yeah. So you're doing full-time day job?
Sorry, your voice was not clear.
Oh, me. No, he does his own things online also.
Hear me?
Prajwal, can you hear?
Yeah.
Wasim was asking you.
Sorry, I didn't hear you, Wasim. Come again.
My question was, you do this, the Insta Crypto full time, or you have a day job as well?
I have a day job as well. I work.
What do you do?
I work with the digital marketing team for different companies.
As a consultant or for a firm?
I work for a firm. I work as a consultant as well. I consult few companies as well.
But you're still on the payrolls of a company and doing
Yeah,
external work as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I think your link is slowly spreading. One person is joining. Right?
There's more.
Yeah, I just started it actually.
Okay, super. So, hello everyone. Hi, welcome to the meetup today. And it's like the regular meetup that we do every fourth Saturday at 4:30 p.m. It's about Bitcoin, it's about crypto, it's about Bitcoin Cash development, everything that under the crypto umbrella we're going to be talking about. Very little specific to Bitcoin Cash development and Flutter development is what today's topic is going to be. Well, of course, anything to do with crypto is welcome, and you guys have anything to say about it, please join and jump in and ask your questions. So otherwise, my introduction is my name is Vikram, and I have an exchange called InstaCrypto, which allows instant exchange of INR to crypto and crypto to INR. We just launched an app about a week ago, available on the Google Play Store. The unique feature that we got for our app this time is that you can pay through your UPI. When you pay through UPI, we have a limit of 10,000 for those who don't want to submit their KYC. We do understand for those people who believe that the KYC details is something which is vulnerable in another exchange. If you want to send it and don't want to send your your private details, you don't have to, because your UPI kind of like captures most of your banking details, and the UPI is connected to your number, and the only phone that you use to download our app is the phone that you will be paying through that UPI. So it's kind of very well covered in terms of KYC for us. So we allow people to use UPI without providing us the full documentation for both buying and selling. So that way it makes it easy for people to use for small amounts. It's not really large, so there is no real issues with AML. So that's InstaCrypto. Rakshit, I'm sorry that I know you did introduce yourself just before the recording. We can start with you, and if you want to introduce yourself, it'll be nice to go on from there.
Yeah, actually, what I told you, right? I'm a student now. I just got an internship. So for 4 months, I'm a Flutter developer for that. So currently, we are creating some of the applications, and I think soon you could find Tezos package in PubDev, which is a package for a Flutter. So I think I'm not familiar with the flow of Bitcoin and those things, but the team which we had, they are helping me to go through the methods and those things to create a package. So I'm in that now.
Nice. Welcome, Rakshit. And which city are you calling us from?
I'm from Bangalore.
Oh, you're from Bangalore. So we got mostly Bangaloreans here. Well, of course, Wasim is in Pune. He's from Bangalore, but he's now in Pune. So yeah, thank you very much, Rakshit. We'll get Wasim to introduce himself.
Yep.
Wasim, I think your mic is on mute. You may have to unmute that.
Hi, my name is Wasim, and I'm a software DevOps manager at one of the firms in Pune. I've been in IT for almost 20 plus years now. I know Vikram personally. We've been school friends, and I'm quite interested with the blockchain and Bitcoin for quite some time. And I keep attending his meetup to get more info on what's going on in that industry or market. So thank you, Vikram.
Oh, thanks a lot for joining, Wasim. definitely, the question that you asked earlier about the regulation part of it when you get your money, when you exchange your crypto, we'll keep that later. And then, when we have more people, we'll address that point again so that more people get to know about exactly
Aware
how it
about it,
works
yeah.
when you get a large sum. So, hi, we, of course, Prajwal is our meetup organizer, online organizer. We just started the meetups to be like completely recorded and use it later for for those people who don't get to attend the meetup and still be able to see it. Prajul, you can introduce yourself and we can take it from there.
Yeah. So I've been involved with Insta Crypto for quite some time. I think since the inception, and I also have another platform called Indie Crypto. It's basically an educational platform where we try and collate all the information about blockchain and especially the happenings in India, and try and educate people and bring more awareness about crypto. I also am a digital marketing consultant where I consult companies about online marketing on mostly all the social media platforms. I'm also a WordPress developer, developing websites on various niches. Yeah, so that would be my introduction.
Thank you very much, Prajwal. That was great. As usual, we've been working together for a long time. We know each other that way.
Yeah.
So yeah, we can start the meeting today. And thank you very much, Akshay, that you are the first actually the Flutter developer that we have. Otherwise, of course, yeah, we've got many developers of crypto. We'll talk about that. We got another person coming in. He's the one which is a little bit more in depth about Flutter, and he was looking for some people to talk about it. So I think I just got a message about 2 minutes ago that saying that he was going to join in a few minutes. So I'm hoping that he'll be here. His name is Romit, so we'll see him as soon as he joins. Uh, to go back to the point that Wasim had addressed in the beginning, it was about how do we disclose if you get large sums of money into your bank when you change your crypto. If I'm saying it right, it's good. Otherwise, Wasim, why don't you go for that question again if you want?
Yeah, well, what I'd like to know is if somebody hands over a bunch of bitcoins to me as a gift, or a friend gives over, which is highly unlikely, nobody's done it. I'm just questioning. And it's a huge amount of money. And then if I have to withdraw that into my account, will there be any legal implications? Is there a limit around it, or how do I go about it? Is there something that I need to be aware of before I withdraw it into Indian INR? You also mentioned if it is my own currency that I bought when the value was low and probably I made a profit, I'm trying to withdraw that, right? Is there something that I need to know before I withdraw that so that I don't get into any kind of a legal problems in the future, is the question.
Well, I can address that. Two parts. One is that if somebody gives you large sums of Bitcoin, right? Why would they give it to you? One is gift, and other one is work. For you, what you work you do, somebody may pay you in
Right, right.
cryptocurrency. But that amount of cryptocurrency that you receive for your work is, of course, is your salary, is your earnings. So that if you don't have a use for crypto directly, you would want to change it to the local fiat. You would use an exchange in India. I would explain it. You would use one of the exchanges to receive the INR in your bank account. Once you receive in your bank account, that's your money. Of course, you've done a freelance work. That's how you received it. You have to go to your CA and then disclose the details to your CA to get your IT filing done. So at that time, you have to mention it to the CA exactly how you got your money. It's through a crypto. It could be through any other channel. You could have received it in your bank. Through crypto, it makes a little different channel. You receive the crypto in your wallet. From wallet, it goes to the exchange and comes into your bank account as INR. So eventually, that INR gets into your bank account. Even if they didn't pay through crypto, if you did a wire transfer, it'll still come to your bank account. That's how you would disclose to your CA, right? Similarly, you will do that and you pay your income tax if it's more than 5 lakhs a year, whatever that norms are. The other step is when you receive a large sums of money as gift. I'm talking about large sum of cryptocurrency as gift. That may be possible because a lot of people hold thousands of cryptocurrency. I know them in like I've heard many people have it from a long time. I don't think they've liquidated it. So they may gift you that kind of cryptocurrency. If you get that kind of cryptocurrency, what do you want to do with that? it's up to you. Do you want to disclose what it is? It's up to you again. It could be that you bought it before and you want to now change it to INR. You can call it as like an income that you received, or let's say uh, capital gains, because you maybe have done some work before and received those bitcoins at the prior stage and then held it for more than few years. I think about 3-4 years or more, when you hold it and get a lot of money, that will be considered as capital gains. So you could use that for that. We can wait for Wasim. I think he just got cut out. So probably once he's back, then we can continue the topic. I just sent
So
some more links out. Sorry, Rakshit, go on.
I just had a doubt. Maybe it is kind of weird or something like that. So these coins are there, right? So these coins have their own shares. Like, who is investing at this? Is it a public people who are investing, or is a private companies investing for the shares, like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and those things? I see a lot of coins and tokens or something like that. Yeah, that's
I'm sorry, I may have to listen to this question again. You said who's investing in these
yeah,
tokens?
yeah, exactly.
We
No, no.
have many
I mean,
coins.
I see the shares, right? I see those shares as something like that, like one H and percentage to 24H, and that is in hours. Okay, I found it. Yeah, and is it open for everyone to like get a share in that?
I'm sorry, what shares are you talking about?
Can we get a share
I
like
think he
Bitcoin? I
meaning.
have no idea like
I
how.
think he means if anybody and everybody can buy Bitcoin and trade it. I think that's what his question is, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, okay. So yeah, everyone is open to buy and sell Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum, any part of the crypto that is available today. If you call them as shares, each Bitcoin or each Satoshi, yes, they could be part of shares. Anybody and everybody are allowed to buy and sell.
okay.
I think I'm
And we
sorry,
got
we
Roman.
just got a disturbance.
Yeah.
Romit, hi. Just give me a minute. I was just addressing Rakshit's question. Uh, I hope that was the answer, Rakshit. I didn't see if there is any continuation of the question. You can go for that.
Yeah, I see some coins they use for specific kind of things like insurance and banking sector. So do those people have their own kind of uh, separate cash for, I mean, the coins for the specific company, like for industry sector and banking sector and those things? Can we all have the
Okay.
same coins in the
So your question is a little bit more still like very new, as in you're new to the crypto space.
yes?
So there are many coins that's aware around today. One of the main separation between these coins are one is centralized coins and decentralized coins. Have you heard of them?
Yeah, I have heard of it. Yeah.
So the centralized coins are the ones minted by some group or some company or some particular forum or community. So what are they doing? That particular coin is for them to use in the centralized fashion. They mint as many as they want from them, and they control that coin. In a decentralized coin, which is more popular, that's what crypto is about. The first one, Bitcoin, that has been the daddy of the cryptocurrencies, is actually a
Yeah.
decentralized coin because that's what was not available till that date of 2009 January 3rd when it started. Everything before that, the currencies were all centralized currencies minted by a bank or government or anybody, but it's controlled by one person, one group. Bitcoin was the first one which is non-controllable by a single entity. It's a decentralized currency. No central authority to control, stop, or monitor, and even regulate you in a way that they want to like stop one person and not the other. So that kind of system is what is Bitcoin. It's a decentralized system. So a few
Yeah.
people have started a centralized coin, like Ripple is one of them. Ripple is a centralized coin. Even though it is centralized, it's very well used around the world. It's because their founders have been around since 9 years. It was started in 2011, and they have not pumped and dumped. They have not manipulated the systems as much as you would expect anybody to think that they would refuse a coin. They've not centrally controlled it too much, but they are, of course, working with banks being centralized, there is a help that they get from their own coin to liquidate coin, to get value out of it, and to go and approach the banks to make XRP a coin of exchange between the banks, a coin of settlement between the banks. That kind of a system is possible by something like XRP to a centralized system that they have exercised to do it. Of course, centralized is not what the cryptocurrency is about, but with the coins like Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash, these kind of things is very much possible. So individually, you can use cryptocurrency, which is decentralized, to settle between each other and to do value transfer and payments and everything. So that way, these coins are more popular. But of course, there are lots of new coins called altcoins are coming up. They all come up with a unique feature for themselves. May not be really popular in future. We'll have to wait and see. The best way to understand a cryptocurrency is going to be popular and useful and add to the commerce is time. So if we give it some time and we wait and see if it's really popular and if it's really catching up, we'll know in a few years down the line what coins will sustain and what will not. So
would it replace?
Sorry. Let me just finish that. Go on. Would it replace?
Would it replace our currency now, which you have in our countries? In future, maybe.
If you understand, what we need to replace right now in the world is the central currency of the world, which is the global reserve of the world. Right now, the global reserve of the world is dollars. Dollars was backed by gold till 1971 when Richard Nixon just threw it out of the window. He was the worst president that they'd ever seen in the US because he did a lot of atrocities. One of them was this, that he stopped the gold standard for the US dollars 50 years ago, where they stopped it. Since printing more and more paper, they are doing more like counterfeiting of the paper and distributing it to the whole world and devaluing every other country's monetary system and their fiat. So the top has to be replaced. So at this time, the top, which is the US dollars, is going to be replaced by Bitcoin. It's not something I just came up with it and I thought it's going to get replaced. It's inevitable. It has to get replaced, and it will get replaced. And none of the country currencies are going to get replaced right now. Maybe US will continue to use US dollars, but US dollar will not be the global reserve of the world. Because before it was gold, it was a gold standard. Now we need another gold, which is going to be Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is the real digital gold today. It replaces gold in many formats. Because gold is physical, you cannot really have anything physical today to be, a good catalyst for online. For online, we need a digital format, and digital gold is what is Bitcoin. So soon it's going to be replaced there. And at a level of countries, like let's address India. Indian currency is not going to get replaced. We will have a better reserve on the top, which is Bitcoin. So we will be pegged to Bitcoin. A lot of countries in Africa have already used, and in Caribbean countries have used Bitcoin now to peg to their, to their currency. Before it was pegged to dollars, now it is pegged to Bitcoin. Eventually, the whole world will have Bitcoin that has been pegged, because if you see China and Russia and Iran, they're already doing these countries, and they're pegging it to gold, and they're pegging it to gold, and they're pegging it to cryptocurrencies, which is Bitcoin. So since they're already doing that with Bitcoin, it's just a matter of time. Eventually, every other country will start using it.
So Vikram, you're confident this would probably replace the gold reserve of the world. Are there any steps being taken? Any organization is working towards it? Or you expect a financial collapse and something else will come over and take over Bitcoin as a system of the world?
So I think the tipping point could be anything. It could be a war. It could be a calamity like this, like the virus calamity, which is, for my belief, is just a hoax that was spread by the US. It's not necessarily a hoax in terms of the disease itself. It's real. It's funded by the US into China. It was clearly, they call that facility not as a good standard facility. But if the US says it's not a very good standard for themselves, why are they sending money? The reason they're able to send money is because they print their own money. And they can send any parts of the world without people knowing about it, because their banks are connected throughout the world, and their money is cheap and free for them to send and research all this. So they agreed themselves, like Mike Pompeo was talking about it, that he knew that he was sending money there. He knew it was substandard, research industry. So then why they wouldn't stop? It's because they want that research to be done, because they have money, they want the research. These research are made and kept as a standby to use for any kind of like calamities to spread around the world, so that their agenda is put through. Their agenda right now in the US has clearly been put forward, because they printed more than 5 trillion last month. Like 20% of job hires happened only in Lockheed Martin, which is the defense equipment manufacturer. Rest, every other industry in the US did not have any hiring, but they had firing. Similarly, in terms of necessities, or what do you say, basic working thing which should be operational was food and grocery things and hospitals and things. But the addition to that, just 2 days ago, Trump agreed to make defense equipment manufacturing as a regular thing to be done. The rest, everything is still in quarantine. Why would you do something like that? It's because the money is in control. So if US dollar is in control of all this, it's only US is going to benefit, and not even the people of the US. It's just a few people on the top who are benefiting from it. So obviously it has to change, because the masses don't get benefit of a fiat system being controlled by them, by the top. So it's been 49 years. We've learned from the 49 years that without having any kind of backing for your fiat, is not really good. So gold standard had to be brought back. We cannot really bring back that old style gold, because it's too many years already, and then there's not enough gold to cover all the backing of this fiat that they've printed. So the way you can only like bring in a decent, say, equal world for everybody has to be pegged to Bitcoin. So there is no two ways about that, and it's purely economics. One of the reasons why since 2013, companies in Iran, China, and Russia are verbally agreeing to each other's trade, and they're executing the trades on a blockchain-based platforms, and they're agreeing to do a trade over a period of time with price spec to digital dollars, digital currency. I mean, so a few countries, companies today, eventually is going to be more, and there will be a tipping point. Once all the tipping point is touched, then it's all going to be digitally, digital Bitcoin. That will be the centrally used global reserve.
So now the way the Bitcoin market is that you take your currency and then buy that and keep it and use it for whatever usage that you want to do. The possibility that these guys who are printing your dollar, what you're talking, can gobble up all the Bitcoins and still become the kings of that currency system, isn't it?
So they can do that always. First, they have to understand really Bitcoin is going to be big or not, because they have their own doubts. They're not completely knowledgeable in this field, because they're too busy in their own printing press field, which is all that they can understand. So once you get to understand really, yes, the digital currency is going to really take over, by the time it's going to be too late. And even if you think it's not too late, they have trillions of dollars, why don't they buy up all the Bitcoin? If they try to buy up all these Bitcoins, it eventually going to bring value to Bitcoin. So the demand and supply just kicks in. The price of Bitcoin is going to go so high that they cannot even buy it, and they would stop buying at a certain point of time. That's one of the only reasons, and maybe not the only reason. There are many other reasons which makes Bitcoin superior. That's why in a free fall, like what happened 2 months ago, since last 2 months, globe is on a free fall in terms of any kind of value proposition that shares hold, oil holds, and anything that was really a good commodity in the world doesn't really hold any value. Even though they are on a controlled market like NYSE and stock exchanges, still their price fell to minus and zero and less than that. So why didn't Bitcoin fall that way? Even though it is a free market, it could have been easily falling below some certain price, but it didn't. It's because it's a real commodity. It's got more intrinsic value in itself than people can see. A lot of people don't even see even one intrinsic value in Bitcoin, but I see many. It's usable. It's instant on internet to move value around. It's got like a digital features of being the curb supply in terms of being finite. Those kind of things is high in intrinsic value for any kind of currency to be exchanged. So those things make it very useful. So yeah, anyway, we will address these questions of how it will definitely replace in the coming time in our meetup to continue with. I would like to introduce some more new people who've joined us. Hi, Romit. Please, go ahead and introduce yourself
Am I audible?
clearly.
Yeah. Hi, my name is Romit. I'm the founder of a Bitcoin Cash wallet called Zapit from Bangalore. We're working on Bitcoin Cash based technologies.
So, Romit, I'd like to introduce you to
okay, sure.
Rakshit. Rakshit is a Flutter developer. So we have a first Flutter developer on our meetup. So Rakshit,
nice.
This is Romit, and Romit was the person that I was talking to you about, who's working on the Flutter bit. So yeah, you guys can connect with your questions.
Yeah, Zapit is built on Flutter. Zapit is built on Flutter, and it is available on Play Store. You can check it out. Maybe you can have a look at it and see how it works and stuff. And we are looking for. Sorry.
Is it XRP? Something like that? I see some.
No, it's ZAPIT. 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 On the Play Store. It's available on the Play Store. Yeah.
I didn't ask about that, but the coin name. I mean, there will be
Bitcoin Cash. It's a Bitcoin Cash wallet with BCH.
BCH. Okay. Yeah. Bitcoin Cash.
Yes. Yeah.
And what's the name of it?
The name of the wallet is Zapit. ZAPIT.
Okay. I'll just have a look.
It's not just a wallet, but we have non-custodial peer-to-peer services also built right into the wallet. Recently, we also launched UPI payments feature where you can actually make UPI payments from the app. It's not a native UPI app, which means you don't have to connect Zapit to your bank account. But yeah, the end process is, the final process is you're paying with either Google Pay or Paytm, and for every single transaction, you get a random SLP token as a reward. You can use each of those SLP tokens in various ways. Some are traded in the exchanges, some have their own utility tokens.
Okay, do you have any open source library which you used for it?
Yeah, lots. Most of it is open source libraries. What we use.
Okay. If I'm specific to Flutter in any package?
Which do you want to name? Like, there's so many, right?
Okay, probably we will connect. No, we don't want to disturb this meeting.
Sure.
No, great stuff. Go on, because the meeting was about all of this, and even including Insta Crypto app is also built on Flutter. And any specific points on the Flutter bit of how development is happening for our apps? Romit is the one who's in charge of that. So if he has any questions about it, we can definitely, have those questions addressed in this meeting.
Yeah, but this was my first month which I joined for the company. So I have no idea. This is totally new for me. So maybe I'm a bit different. Like, I don't understand quickly about these things.
Sorry,
when I just go into completely, then I may understand it. Yeah.
Are you still learning Flutter? Are you still learning Flutter? Like, when did you start learning Flutter?
Like before 1 year ago, in December 2018 or something, when the initial launch of Flutter.
2018 December.
Yeah. It was in early phase, but it was not even in a production at that stage.
Yeah, that's almost 1 year before I learned. So,
of course.
I just learned recently. I learned it like I think this January, like December, January. That's when I started programming.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
you
I
have a
guess.
website? Do you have a website?
Yes, it's zapit.io. Same zapit.io.
Okay.
Yeah, we have not updated the website yet after we have launched
Okay.
few new features, but still,
Yeah.
a lot of
Okay.
information is available. Yeah.
Yeah. So
So
I
when
So are
just
you
got
working?
internship at Tezos. Tezos, a
Oh,
company
okay.
called Tezos.
Yeah.
So
what
Tezos,
about
I'm
Tezos?
sorry. That is a Tezos is a coin. I mean, it is a
Yeah,
Tezos.
yes.
Company name is Tezos. Yeah.
And how
Yes,
did you
sir.
get recruited for this company? Like, since you said you're new to crypto itself,
Yeah.
was it like a campus
Uh,
interview?
it was in campus interview. I had in LinkedIn. I posted it. So I just met one guy from CDG. I usually attend some of the meetups, so I got few connections. So from there, I was noticed. I made some stand-ups in Flutter as I go to some of the meetups. So from there, I mean maybe I got a chance from them. Yeah,
Okay, okay. Oh, good
Do
one.
you
That
have a
means you got
GitHub? Like,
exposed.
yeah, do you have a GitHub where I could check out your work? Like,
yeah, sure. Actually, I have not yet pushed any code in my repo regarding the Git. I mean the project. So it's in
okay.
private from their repository.
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah, no, I
so
meant your own personal apps, like,
yeah,
that you do it
it's
hobby as a
Rakshak
hobby.
1344.
Sure, I'll look at
Sure, thanks a lot. So we'll keep in touch. I think that's what you were asking about Romits also, right? For GitHub details, so you can meet him there. So let's introduce the others. Bharat, can you hear us? If you can hear us, you can introduce yourself.
I think he has sent a chat. I think he has
Yeah,
sent a
yes.
chat.
Okay. Okay. Now, not to worry. We have Ramanjulu. Are you able to hear us? If you're able to hear us, you can unmute your mic and then say hello.
Yeah, hi, hello. You know,
Hi. So you want to go for a quick introduction of yourself?
yeah, I'm starting. I mean, I'm learning this blockchain development course. Right now, I'm into Ethereum, Solidity.
Okay.
Okay, I'm mainly focusing on learning, the Haskell programming language for Cardano, the third generation blockchain technology that is uh, building by Cardano Foundation.
Sure. Sure. Nice
Uh,
work. Anything in specific to technical? If you have any questions, you can ask a question here. Maybe one of them who knows here may be able to answer your question. Oh,
at this moment, I don't have any questions. I'm just, not trying to participate in more meetups in the blockchain space to get my
sure.
knowledge.
Brush up, and then we can definitely ask some more. Yeah, yeah, sure. So join us for the conversation, and whenever you have a question, otherwise, yeah, you can definitely listen in.
Yeah, I'll be listening. I'll have any questions. I mean, if I have any questions, I'll definitely ask.
Done. Thank you.
Actually, I had one question. Like, who is creating these coins? Like, who is mainly creating these coins?
So central guys coins, all of us are making it. We all are entitled to have our own coin through centralized systems. Depends on how you want to publicize it, how many followers you will have, how valuable it will be. But the most valuable cryptocurrencies are decentralized currencies that nobody owns. These are the codes that was written by a group of people. Satoshi Nakamoto was one of the guys who put in all these softwares together and programs together and made a better deal out of it, which is Bitcoin. But if you understand, your Merkle root was from 80s, cryptography was from even earlier than that, and probably from 90s. Somebody had it before that, but it was only developed in the 90s. So hashing algorithms, a lot of work that was done prior to 2008 were all put together and made Bitcoin. And if you understand, it is open source and decentralized, so it's for free for people to develop. It's in under nobody's control, one person's control. So if you have a great tool that you develop for Bitcoin code, a nice wallet or something which is beyond wallet, a nice update, and if all the miners understand that and they like it, they all will go for an upgrade for the next fork time, and eventually the Bitcoin protocol becomes better. So to control that from one party, no, it's not possible, and to start from one party is not. So yeah, Prajwal, I think we had some questions related to the latest,
Yeah, there were a few
trends that's
developments
going on.
recently. Yeah, so there were two actually. The one is in regards to the first 50 bitcoins that were mined in 2009, moved for the first time
Yeah.
recently. Right, so there was a lot of news speculation about it. So did you uh, get to know anything about it, or?
Yeah, we did see that news, and I think Craig Wright is this guy who kind of like saying that his movement, he did that, and he's trying to submit that to the court.
Yeah,
Uh,
today he's submitting some details about it, I guess.
so have you heard about that, Romit? What's your insights on it?
Yeah, even I just saw the headlines. I didn't really go into it because I think at this point it's established that anything he says is false. So I don't think we should even pay attention to what he said. It's probably
No,
not even.
specifically,
Yeah, but he's
you're right.
actually going
Specifically
ahead to
about
prove.
the
He's going to submit the Bitcoin addresses as well to prove.
Yeah, but he has submitted a lot of Bitcoin addresses before that have been shown to be not his. Like the owner of that address has actually verified that it's not his by signing a Bitcoin message. Like another the actual owner of the address. So I'm not sure. I don't know.
No, if I understand that right, there are 2 points here. One of the point is, of course, the 50 Bitcoin block of 2009 February moved for sure. But
Yeah.
Craig Wright claims that he moved. That's a different point altogether. He's a liar. We don't have to believe him. But the point that the 50 Bitcoins did move, that's true. For me, from my experience, what's happening is at the time when Satoshi did start mining, he could not have started the whole Bitcoin protocol by himself, right? So it's not about one computer.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
has to be multiple computers. So he has his friends and all those people who are part of the development team of earlier cryptocurrencies, kind of currencies that was all centralized, were all putting in their efforts. Those were all added together and made Bitcoin. Bitcoin was completely decentralized, but if you see the prior currencies, people have tried eCash, eGold, whatever the names are, Hashcash, many things. They were all centralized coins, but they were all different developments. So all these people together had a great idea. Their idea was to replace US dollars. Their idea was to bring in a parallel system. Their idea was to bring in power back to people in terms of monetary value. So that idea was all put together. So all these people were in a group. They all knew each other over the forums, talking to each other. So everyone chipped in with their computers to mine Bitcoin. Everybody got their share of their 50 Bitcoins because anybody who kept their computer on for 10 minutes would have got 50 Bitcoins at that time. This is, I'm talking about January, February 2009, right? The first 2 months. So I'm thinking there are many people other than the Satoshi himself are holding these coins. Because at that time these coins look like really stupid piece of gaming coins, like how you Farmville, Facebook Farmville points. You don't even care about them. You just store it anywhere. You just forget about them. Is what is to happen about Bitcoin then? People used to just store Bitcoin and forget about them because there was no value. You couldn't see the future. After 2 years, it will have value because the future then is too bleak, right, for those. So they just thought, oh, it's there, we'll see, and then they all forgot about it. So about close to 1 million coins are sitting like that. Though all those million coins are not necessarily held by Satoshi himself. So there are a group of people who are all supporters of Satoshi, and Satoshi also recordedly has sent some coins around to Halfini. Is that the person who received his coins first? So maybe any one of them could have used it.
Yeah. I think there was a analysis company that kind of showed like a graph, which they kind of claim that they know which blocks were mined by Satoshi, and they kind of say that these are the coins held by Satoshi, and the one that was moved was clearly not Satoshi's coins, so it was not mined by him. That's what.
So great,
That's what I
yeah.
read.
They must be one of those who are close associates of him.
Yeah, he had shared the code with a lot of people, so they were testing it out for him from the early days. So
Totally.
it could be them.
Till yeah. till 2011, when I was reading about it, I mean to say, last I would have read clearly, it's still an experiment. It was a social experiment. It was still nobody believed that Bitcoin is going to be like this, what it is today. And a few who really understood the economics around the world and the control around the world from the banks and the federal bank knew what was going to be. But 99% of the people who still knew about Bitcoin, bought into Bitcoin, didn't actually know what the future was going to hold. At those kind of times, this was like it was like one of those fairy tales, like kind of thing. It's just that Craig Wright kind of a person just comes along and any of these events he wants to push in his agenda. So he's trying to use that for even this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to add to that, even uh, the hack that happened on Bitfinex, even some of the coins of that is also on the move for the first time. I think yesterday, I guess it started.
Oh,
Yeah,
so
yeah, I heard
that's
that as
something
well.
which I did know.
Yeah.
Okay. So these are the kind of coins they wanted to blacklist before, but I guess it's not done because nothing on the blockchain right really was allowed to be blacklisted. So I guess they are now out and about.
Yeah, they're trying to track the movement of the coins in order to catch those people who did the hack.
Well, we'll wait and see what implications that will happen. Because the US government, for that matter, is actually monitoring every detail of it. So at this time, they're right now kind of clamping down on the centralized coins like USDT and other few things that's flourishing in their country. But eventually, they will be monitoring to see how they can clamp down on a decentralized system also. I'm sorry if my video is shaking too much. Let me just fix it.
So are there any more questions? Uh,
Yeah, I had a question to you, Robert. I was just using the Zapper
sure.
app. So you had a feature somewhere mentioning about a remittance, right? So all people have to do
Yes,
is
yes.
enter the name. So how is this
Yeah.
name generated? Is it based on the people who have registered on Zappet? All they have to do is enter their name, and they can transfer the Bitcoin Cash. As
Yeah, so on Zapit, the international money transfer or remittance feature is one of its kind, which is, I think, it's the first peer-to-peer remittance service. So the way you do it is, of course, both the users have to be on Zapit for this to work. You just go to the service, you enter the receiver's username, the amount that you want to send, and the destination country, right? And then you click transfer. You are shown the details of another user. So of course, it's just a regular payment that you're making, right? So let's say you want to send 100 rupees to United States. You enter the username, you enter 100, and then select United States, and then you get let's say the UPI details of a payment partner uh, that could be any user on Zapit. Yeah, you make the payment, and you just wait for the confirmation of the payment. And once the payment partner confirms that he has received the funds in either bank or UPI or however it is, instantly the amount is already available in US in the receiver's wallet. So the receiver can then choose whether they want to continue spending it from the wallet itself, or they have the option to withdraw it back to any payment method that they choose, such as the bank account there, or PayPal, or Venmo, or whatever it is.
okay, and is it
That's how it
only
is.
based on UPI, or is it based on Bitcoin Cash, or is
No.
it based on?
So the payment method that we are using in the backend is Bitcoin Cash, but the users don't necessarily know that we are using Bitcoin Cash, because nowhere we say that Bitcoin Cash is what is being sent. The user can choose any payment method that they want to send it. So if somebody has Paytm, they can use the Paytm wallet. They can use Google Pay. They could use any UPI app. They could also use IMPS or RTGS from a regular bank transfer. They could do cash deposit. anything. It's users can choose what payment method they want to use.
Okay, okay. And what if somebody from US or any other country want to withdraw the funds? How does that
Yeah, it's
work?
the same thing. Yeah, so as soon as the transfer is complete, they receive an email saying you have received a transfer. The wallet shows the balance, whatever amount, let's say 100 rupees they received, you convert that to dollars, $1 something shows up in their wallet. They can go to the same section, the international transfer section, they find it in the history, they click on it, and then the users have the option to withdraw it. So based on whatever payment method that the users have entered in their profile, again they can choose PayPal, bank account, Venmo, Cash App, whatever it is that they're using, right? And then once they click withdraw, they just wait for the funds to receive into their account or the payment method that they choose. Once they have received the payment, they just have to confirm it once more in the app that yes, we have received. Since it's peer to peer, that is required that they have to confirm.
Yeah, yeah, sure, sure. I think we've got one of the questions from Bharat here saying, what is the difference in bitcoins and does the Bitcoin value increases based on market?
So I can address a question. The first one was about difference between bitcoins, right?
Yeah.
So there are a few bitcoins that's available there, which is one is Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin SV, Bitcoin Gold. There is to start with, they're all the same. Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin Gold, Bitcoin SV, and Bitcoin have the same ledger starting from 2009 January, the first ledger. The ledger split into two in 2016 for Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash. After that, Bitcoin Cash ledger split into two means whoever held Bitcoin from 2009 all hold Bitcoin Cash. Their ledger is starting from then. So they are all same in terms of the history of the ledger. Slightly different in terms of the way they mine bitcoins. In Bitcoin Gold, you mine with only GPUs and not with ASIC. Bitcoin Cash, and SV mine with ASIC. That's a few changes. The changes otherwise that's happened from Bitcoin to Bitcoin Cash is the development part of it on the blockchain. So the blockchain is limited to few things, right? A blockchain limits your number of transactions to 1 MB per 10 minutes. That can be changed with the group of coders, if a group of developers, who everybody who's developing that particular coin agrees on it. So that's what has happened. Some developers agree to change the block size to increase the number of transactions people can do. So those people had to take their ledger away from the blockchain's main ledger and made Bitcoin Cash. With Bitcoin Cash, the developers are able to develop uh, Bitcoin into being more easy to use as cash, instant to send and receive, with the cheapest amount of payments to made as minor fee, and more number of transactions can fit into a block. Of course, a block is bigger means then you have to mine more bigger blocks, and you hold on to bigger data. But even that's eventually helping in terms of a different part of the economy. So the economy which helps in easy liquid cash movement is Bitcoin Cash. An economy which says a cryptocurrency should be an asset class and hard to move, and a few people can only move, is setting it like a Bitcoin class. So Bitcoin is coming close to something like an asset class, and Bitcoin Cash is coming close to what real Satoshi's vision was, which is a peer-to-peer electronic cash. That was exactly what was written in the white paper, the first line of white paper released by Satoshi. So a few small changes. Project, can you just read the second part of the question? You said.
He said he's asking if the Bitcoin value increases based on market.
Very right. Actually, that is a nice valid question for economics. It does depend on the market. So the reason it depends on the market is because the market is what determines anything which is valuable or not. And market determines if it's valuable, it has to be pricey. So that's how the price gets into any commodity if it is very useful for commerce. And with crypto, according to me, from all that I have seen in economics, has got the most free market today. So it is less manipulated, less controlled by anybody. Completely everything else other than the crypto market is completely controlled. If I may say how controlled it is, US can print $5 trillion in just a month. So that means in 2 months they print more than what adds up to total as gold in the world is. So the whole world's gold, if you add up in value, it'll go up to like $8 trillion, and US can print $8 trillion in just 1.5 months. Do you understand the depth? It's just that the paper cannot really buy that amount of gold in the market, because when they go and try and buy that, the gold prices shoot up, and eventually it takes the dollars for a ride. So that's why that's not happening. But otherwise, if you see, yes, the markets are completely controlled today. The most free market that's available is cryptocurrency, and yes, the market determines the cryptocurrency's true value in terms of price. I think he had mentioned a few of the questions. Is there any? Sorry, go on. Rakshit, I think you wanted to ask something.
Yeah, those coins, will it differ
So
person to
yes, they
person?
do differ. Uh, Person to person, not necessarily. If you hold Bitcoin, one person's Bitcoin is exactly the other person's Bitcoin also the same. They are called fungible. They are all fungible coins. But of course, when you say Bitcoin, all Bitcoins are fungible. But Bitcoin Cash, all Bitcoin Cash is fungible. Right now, Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash are different. At the time when the protocol started, 21 million Bitcoins were supposed to be mined forever. When the split happened with the fork, when Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash are two different protocols today, we have 42 million coins in total between Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash. There are a lot of nice things that has happened because of the fork that itself, which is moving from 21 million to 42 million, is like a scaling help. So we have more coins for more people now, and also the development part of it makes us understand that yes, everybody has a different kind of portfolio in terms of their monetary system. If I have my portfolio of my monetary assets and savings, I would have some money in my bank, some in gold, some in shares and anything. So in future, you can have in different cryptos, some in Bitcoin, some in Bitcoin Cash, because the reason is Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash is going to be having two different uses in the economic world today or tomorrow.
Any basis that UPI has built on top of it? Like, did the UPI use this kind of thing to achieve kind of faster payment than the bank?
So I want to ask you about this UPI. So you asked this question. I'm sure you have researched about UPI. So what do you think is the UPI features?
Like, it's the faster transaction than the bank. That's what I know. I didn't go to those architecture and how it is built, so I have to see. That's an important thing for me.
Oh, I'm glad that you asked this such a question. To start with, something like UPI is not there any other part of the world other than India. You know that?
Yeah, yeah. Like, I admire everything. Like, if you see
I
any
love that.
any other country, they cannot, they suffer to transfer anything. They have the Apple Pay and those things, but we have a UPI. We'll instantly
Yeah,
transfer before
UPI is
anyone.
like
Yeah,
fucking having a rocket going to the moon when people are just playing with crackers here, like firecrackers.
yeah,
That's what US is playing with. US is playing with their firecrackers and make it look like this firecracker has got Apple logo on it. It's Apple Pay. We're going to be really superior. No, you're still playing with bloody wooden toys when somebody's sending, a spaceship to Mars. That's exactly UPI. I went to the UPI conference where the guys who built UPI were there presenting UPI. The guys are
yeah.
amazing. There were just about 12 to 15 guys built UPI in 3 months,
Oh
something which
my
supports
God.
the whole of India to do
Yeah,
instant value transfer, instant payments, and for free. Such a system is not there anywhere in the world. When I talk about people abroad and about their crypto experience, the other side of the crypto experience is their fiat experience, right? Because when you pay the fiat only, they get crypto. Because it's your first time you're buying crypto. Crypto to crypto is different issue. Crypto to crypto trading is easy and instant. But crypto to fiat, the first bridge to cross, is the hardest for the outsiders. If you compare it to India now with UPI, so UPI kind of a feature is like an amazing feature. Of course, UPI came later than Bitcoin. UPI was built, I think, in 7, 8 years ago. I don't remember
Not
what
7, 8
Nikhil
years
said.
ago. Just 3, 4 years ago it was built up.
Oh, that's even clear, yeah. Because I did speak to the guy, Nikhil is his name, that is the lead developer of UPI. And they have taken the ideas from Bitcoin. It's not like they've just come up with it because they wanted a medium platform for all the banks to connect on this, and every one of us to be able to use that particular wallet to send and receive money between our banks instantly. Of course, the banks had their apprehensions before, but they all got onto it because they understand it's a feature, and it's the Indian government and the RBI who stepped in to say that this kind of feature should be given to people. In abroad, you really don't see that. The reason you don't see that is because they do not see economy for the people. The economy is built outside is only for the rich class, and for rich class to move money, the banks are their friends, so they don't really want to bother about the real economic developers, which is their country's people, should be using something like that feature. Well, of course, I'm glad that India has it. Because of UPI, there are a lot of features in India with crypto we don't get to push as much because UPI already is giving that kind of a feature. If you see, cryptocurrency is accepted by a lot of merchants around the world, but not necessarily within India. One of the reasons is because of UPI. Because UPI gives a nice alternative for people to make payments, people do not use cryptocurrency in India to make payments. So when we get this question like very, very often, why no merchants are accepting crypto and no people are paying in crypto, is because for Indians to first to get hold of crypto is a little bit hard. It's not the easiest. So once you have crypto and then you go to a merchant and you try to pay, you have a choice between UPI or crypto. What could you use to pay? You can pay with UPI because it's easy and it's free. With crypto, of course, it's instant and all that is good, but it's hard to get it in the first place. Why not just hold on to it? Is a sentiment that we have in it.
I'm keen to know like how these the different between this architecture of UPI has built and the basis of blockchain code is built.
So
Maybe
the
I have to.
blockchain code is a decentralized code. UPI codes are not decentralized. They're centrally managed by NCPI or something, one of these national companies, and they have distributed that software to everybody. In a way, the app, of course, is also some part of it is open source. I'm sure Romit will put in some light on it because Romit has built these UPI apps in both of our apps, which is Instagram app and Zapid app. Go on, Romit.
Yeah, so Flutter had a few libraries that allows you as a app or a company to allow users to make payments. So usually that's built so that you add your UPI ID and um, you give the options of whatever UPI apps exist, and the user just clicks on the UPI app and it basically deep links into the app. It adds the amount and the user that is supposed to be sent to. And yeah, once it's confirmed, we get a response as well, whether the transaction is complete or whether it's cancelled or it's not confirmed or something.
Yeah, yeah. And also, is
Yeah.
UPI completely open source?
It's
Available
not
on GitHub?
open source. I'm not sure. I've not checked that, but they have libraries which allow you to do certain things. I don't think it's completely open source. Like how the banks communicate, I'm not sure whether that part is open source.
Actually, I think
Also,
I know it. Like
okay.
at initial phase, there was only app, the Beam app was there. So that was not publicly open for it. Then eventually they opened a third-party libraries for other people to use, like PhonePe and Paytm and some other many of the application have their UPI transaction in their application. So definitely we will be having a library for
Yeah,
that we could implement.
Yeah, but there are two different kinds of libraries here. One is connecting to a UPI app. The other is the UPI transaction itself. That is not open. I think that you will have to get some license. You'll have to be linked to a bank account. Only
Yeah, yeah,
then
yeah.
you will be actually able to do that. So something like Zapid will not be able to link to bank account because we have not partnered with a bank or something like that, and we haven't got the
Yeah,
license or the yeah.
yeah, when
Go
you
ahead.
see the last thing, right, the code when you enter the UPI code, your passcode, that is like it doesn't change in any application if you have noticed. So
Yes.
till
Yes.
before that you could customize everything and you could make, but after that it's not under our control. It's under their control. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
agree.
So the code to actually make the transaction is not open, but yeah, but the code to link to an UPI app to make a transaction is open. So that's how it is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
so
yeah,
Is
you
there
can
any
I
way to
just
contact you?
I was just reading a report like what the UPI did for the Indian banking system. As Vikram said, there's nothing like this in the world at all, and that is exactly what Facebook's Libra wanted to replicate or probably take it to the next level because Facebook has so much
uh-huh.
data and they wanted to
Yeah, yeah.
build Libra, which is backed by banks and government securities, and makes payments as easy as UPI. So that was the primary focus when Facebook announced that Libra. But I don't know where it stands right now, what they're doing. But even
It's
there are a lot of people who are looking, especially I think the Indians itself wants to take this UPI to the international level now. But I'm not sure how the currency conversions and then those kind of things will take place. Yeah, still connected.
Well,
I think Vikram
I
got
think
disconnected.
Libra. I
Yeah,
don't know whether the US government is allowing Libra to operate. I think they had few differences
yeah, absolutely,
in that, and
absolutely. Yeah,
yeah, I think yeah, Libra is slightly more centralized. They claim it's a cryptocurrency, but who knows?
yeah.
People have pointed out problems
It's
after
not
looking
a
at the code and stuff.
it's not a crypto. I think it's not a. Yeah, you can't say it's a cryptocurrency again. It's a centralized currency, again backed by governments. They had to take permissions from the government, backed by banking again. But what they try to solve is capitalize on the existing database of people that are already on the platforms like Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp, and use those data and then integrate payments into that. Primarily, like probably what WeChat did in China, I guess. That is, I think they were just trying to bring all these things together.
Yeah, that part is crazy. But I think UPI is well something that's better than UPI already existed in form of Bitcoin like 10 years back. Yet people were uh, not adopting it as well.
Yeah,
So
and
I think yeah.
absolutely. And I think it's that's the one of the I think the biggest barriers when it comes to people to adopt to cryptocurrencies because they already have, as Vikram said, these solutions like Paytms and wallets. People don't feel the need of doing this. But yes, the payments are made easy. But when it comes to actually backed up by a real commodity, that's where I think UPI lacks. UPI still is backed up on the traditional
And not
fiat.
just that, there are lots of limits. For example, you cannot make more than 10 transactions on
Yeah,
UPI,
yeah, exactly.
which is too low. Especially if you're a merchant, it's way too low.
You're right.
So I think cryptocurrencies are still ahead in that sense.
No, okay. I just got a question on that. So when you say merchant is limited to 10 transactions, is it even when he starts receiving the payments, it's only limited to 10?
No, just to send.
Send, right? Yeah,
To send, yeah. So
exactly.
let's say you're a wholesale person who, on a daily basis, have to make a lot of payments. You cannot use UPI.
Yeah,
You have to use the traditional banking. Your business is slowing down. There's a lot of problems caused by that.
yeah, agreed.
So there's like a one side to that UPI. You can receive multiple payments as a company,
Yeah,
but as a sender, if you as your company wants to send more than 10 transactions a day, no, it's not possible. That UPI limits to that. Maybe those kind of things are built to make UPI a user for or user friendly tool for people and small businesses, not necessarily a bigger ones. Probably they will have something for bigger ones also in coming days. Something like you know a step above the UPI features, like for merchants, for businesses only. Hope to see that.
no, I think UPI was more a position towards the masses. I think that's how
Yes,
it was
yes.
done. So there is already things like RTGS, IMPS, and stuff like that already there for merchants to do larger transactions. This was more in terms of micro payments. I think that's where the UPI definitely brings, and with the mobile penetration in India, especially with Geo and other things that have come into picture right now, that's actually taken the digital payments to a whole new level, actually.
Yeah, yeah. It's very true. Sometimes when we talk about this to people abroad, they cannot contemplate. We having a slight, barrier between our conversation because we talk about something we receive fiat instantly. They don't have a feature like that, so they cannot relate to us when we are doing that kind of conversation. So then we have to understand that they don't have a feature like that. We'll have to see what kind of feature they will bring in. They bring in a banking feature, which is office hours only, working hours only, no weekends, no bank holidays. Uh, those kind of limitations are very very high. Actually,
Yeah,
if you see, IMPS is also timings have been increased to accommodate these kind of things for us in India. Before the IMPS was a little bit more limited,
yeah.
and Neft was there, but of course, I'm seeing that we're getting better and better in terms of our banking.
Yeah, exactly. But if you look at other countries, especially the African countries, that's where the cryptocurrency adoption is huge, because their
Yes,
traditional
yes,
systems, their traditional currencies is so inflated and devalued. People have moved on to cryptocurrencies as a medium of payments and even store of value in many cases. I think those are the countries which have more adoption of cryptocurrency because there is a need there.
they do, they do. And because if you see the need in terms of its price, the price is even 10% higher than India. We already are at a higher price, and they are even higher than that. That means their need is very, very high. Their supply is a little less, the need is high, and their usage is also very high there.
Yeah, exactly. So I'll just read a stat that I got here. It says
Okay.
the sub-Saharan Africa records 48 billion remittances annually, but the transaction fees is as high as 9 to 11%. And
Wow.
this is one of the reasons people are also using cryptocurrency to eliminate those high remittance costs.
Totally, totally. You're right. I think those kind of stats are very important to understanding how crypto will, shape out itself between continents.
Yeah,
Especially like in Australia and all. The Australian continent allows cryptocurrency, especially Bitcoin Cash, to be used as payments because to move Bitcoin Cash is very cheap compared to Bitcoin. The verification, the confirmation is instant. Those are the ones which is very key to a good business because if you're standing there and you've made the payment, this is what we have in UPI. As soon as we stand there and we send, the guy receives it. He has the confidence that he received. That's why we leave that place. So the business is complete, the commerce is complete. That's a great feeling. If that there is a delay, then you're hanging around for no reason. And we both have to separate thinking that did I send it or not, or did he receive it or not. Those kind of not completes the business. So Bitcoin Cash is doing really well in Australia to be a payments tool right now because a lot of merchants are adopting to receiving Bitcoin Cash and because of its great features. Again, like I said, it's instant confirmations, cheaper confirmations, cheaper transaction fees. Those things are like a key areas. Because of this, there is like a feeling with everyone that Bitcoin Cash will beat the price of Bitcoin in the future because anything which is usable, which is a real a feature of sending and receiving money instantly, cheaply, those kind of have higher usability factor, and those things will have better price automatically once everybody understands that. So in the future, we may even see the price of Bitcoin competed with Bitcoin Cash because they both carry the same features. They both carry, the real ethos from the beginning of the white paper. It has to be a peer-to-peer cash system. It's just that the Bitcoin is become peer-to-peer asset system, which takes its own time and its own price to move as an asset. Peer-to-peer cash system, which is the Bitcoin Cash, is instant. It takes less value, so it's quicker and smoother, and it's going to be for the masses.
yeah, exactly. So Bitcoin is more classified like the asset class where only the high value transactions would be moved, and then Bitcoin Cash
Yes.
is more for the masses. Yeah. And would you want to put some light on the remittance, like how cryptocurrency like changes the whole dynamics of remittance and decentralizes that and puts the power back to the masses?
So I think that's totally possible in the future, and that's going to happen. Eventually, the banks will be running helter skelter to get some business for remittance, like how we have postal department. They don't really get any real mail. Snail mails are very few now. It's mostly emails, and communication is shifted over to the internet. So similarly, when the value transfer shifts over to the internet, then you have remittance happening instantly. So people will be more aware of what kind of ways to collect in crypto. Today, crypto to crypto doesn't necessarily move because the buyer, I mean to say the sender of remittance, uh, has his apprehension to change it to crypto and send it. And the receiver himself, if he receives in crypto, he doesn't really have the need for it right now, and he has difficulty to change it to local fiat. So those kind of things is something which will get solved with time. And once that gets solved, when people understand crypto as a day-to-day, like how we have emails and internet today, it's understood by everyone. But exactly, I would say 12, 20, 12 to 15 years ago, it was really hard for people to understand cryptocurrency in a third world nation. Emails in a third world nation. So today they know it so easily and they all depend on it. Tomorrow, in 10 years down the line, 15 years down the line, crypto will be as dependent as that in terms of direct payments from crypto to crypto, because people can then hold their crypto, uh, instant change to liquidity to fiat, whatever the local currency is there, because the ways to change will also would have improved. And they don't even have to change it to fiat in certain times because they can straight away use their crypto for their everyday life. That will be the tipping over period, I would say. Maybe another 10 to 15 years max. Just like the way the amount of time internet and email took, I would give it to the cryptocurrencies too.
Yeah. Do we have any more questions?
So anybody else wants to add in and chip in any other question? Please go ahead. Yeah, I think it was a great meetup so far. We had a few people, but it was a quality one. And what's the time now? We were calling it for an hour and a half for the meetup. Yeah, it's pretty good. In a couple of minutes, if there's no more questions, we can
Yeah, Rakshit
definitely call it a
Rakshit is
day.
asking, can you guys
So I
connect?
have to work out. I thought anyhow walking I can't go.
Rakshit is asking, can you guys connect? I don't know what he means about that. Do you mean like connect personally or something?
Hi, Rashid. Do you get the question?
Yeah, I mean the LinkedIn or
Oh,
anywhere.
you want a LinkedIn? Okay, yeah. So, yeah,
Yeah.
if everybody can just put their LinkedIn IDs in the chat box, so that everybody can connect and even take some conversations offline and then personally connect and have the questions answered.
Sure, sure. I'm looking forward to this video once it's ready as well.
Yeah,
When
sure.
we put out the video on all our social medias, I hope we will have some comments there. Looking at the video, if they go through our conversations, definitely there'll be a lot of people who will have some questions on it, and I'm looking forward to those questions from the comments and then answer them there also.
Absolutely.
Hi, Rashid. You can join me. You can add me on LinkedIn with just Vikram Nikam. You'll be able to find me on LinkedIn.
Yeah, just Google the name. So yes.
Hi, Ramanjulu. I think you just unmuted your mic. You want to say something? You can go ahead.
Vikram, I have one question. See, these cryptocurrencies are more volatile compared to fiat currencies. In
Yes.
future, if we want to bring it into real time usage by mass, how this volatility can be stabilized. I mean,
So there are
in which way?
ways. So the ways volatility subsides is by the adoption. So the more people adopt to it, the lesser the volatility will be. If you see US dollar also still is volatile. The percentage is very less, but it still fluctuates, even though the whole globe is adopting to it. So that's how cryptos are. The less adoption is making it more, fluctuating and more uh, volatile. But with time, it will subside and then it'll be useful. But otherwise, it's not necessarily a bad thing. If you see, volatility in crypto is what making the trading world tick. The trading world loves the way it's volatile. Because of the volatility, the trading is booming today. And also in terms of payments and settlements, if you see, the time taken for crypto is instant. So the volatility does not come into the picture. If I'm making a payment to someone in Africa, I send him one cryptocurrency of Bitcoin Cash, which is equal to 20,000 or say 250 USD. He receives it exactly at the time when it is 250 USD. When he receives it, because I send and receive is almost a similar time in Bitcoin Cash, you don't even have to wait 10 minutes to spend. Instantly, you can spend. So when I send it at that time when it was $250 value, he received it at his $250 value. At that time when he receives it, if he doesn't want to feel the fluctuation of the cryptocurrency, he can peg that currency straight to an exchange there and change it to his fiat. So when he changes to his fiat at the very minute that he receives it, he did not lose anything. He received it at $250, he changed it to $250 equivalent to the fiat locally that he is going to use. But if he understands crypto and he's happy to take the risk of the volatility, he can take the Bitcoin Cash and hold it himself. That is his experience and his interest. Because if he's holding it in cryptocurrency, he may feel that it will get more tomorrow or less tomorrow. That's his risk. But otherwise, for a use case of movement of value from A to B, cryptocurrency was used and its volatility did not play any role for anybody to feel bad about the pricing going down or up. That's the beauty of cryptocurrency. And otherwise, if you see, a lot of other tools are also available today, which is like making a cryptocurrency a stable coin. But of course, to make it stable, a lot of manipulation is happening at the back end. And that's that's okay for now, because at the front end, for a lot of people who've not heard my explanation about cryptocurrency's volatility issue, and they still think that's a bigger issue than getting into it. So for them, there is always a stable coin. And once they get into stable coin, understand a little bit more about crypto, maybe then they will get into the real crypto, which is decentralized cryptos, and don't feel the pinch of the volatility.
Okay, thanks. Nice explanation.
Oh,
Yeah,
you're
and there,
welcome,
there
man.
was a recent graph as well from Coinbase saying there are, I'm not sure of the percentage, then there are very high percentage who enter into crypto with Bitcoin, but later move on. Only 23% of the people remain, and they move on to altcoins because they want to explore more.
Okay, okay. And since Bitcoin Cash has been put in a bracket of altcoins,
Yeah,
I think Bitcoin Cash is bringing in the maximum adoption into that, because it's very, very superior. It's so superior. It's like when we had nothing and we had Bitcoin, it was superior. And now in the crypto space, Bitcoin Cash is the ultimate superior coin. It's just a few people who are, including companies like WazirX in India, don't even understand that and don't want to understand that. That's the difficult part. The people who don't want to understand, you cannot explain to them, even though they understand the whole picture of what is crypto, but they don't want to, put in Bitcoin Cash at a similar level as other altcoins. Also, they're putting it below a centralized coin of their own.
yeah,
That's
Binance
really
coin.
bad.
Yeah, they have their own agenda, I think.
Wazirex.
Yeah, was it?
Yeah, everybody has got their own agenda, but they should be economically sound. I don't think their business is going to last very long if they don't really understand the economics in the market of the world.
No, I think especially in India, it's crypto is more as, I think we even discussed this in our last conversation. It's more towards trading. It's a lot of people don't understand the main reason why crypto came up, emerged, and the real uses of it. It's people are just looking at it as a trading tool and just focused on the price going up and down, which is great because it gets a lot of people, it turns a lot of heads because of the prices, but ultimately there is a lot more uses when it comes to crypto, which is not even spoken about, and is completely overshadowed by the trading world.
Totally, totally. I think the more they just concentrate on trading, they get more buried into that regulation part of it. So they will not have enough time to even explore the good sides of cryptocurrency beyond that. So we'll have to wait and see. With time, time is the biggest, teacher. Is what I've learned.
Absolutely.
And it doesn't help when most of the companies are also focusing on just trading tools like exchanges and stuff like that.
Exactly.
We need
There's
more
nothing
companies
else
working
built at
on.
all.
Yeah.
There's nothing else built at all. Every time you see there is a new exchange coming in, that's it. I was very happy when Zapit came in and when I tested it, and so because it was great to know when you integrate UPI
Yeah,
and
like
cryptocurrency on a platform.
there are a lot of features that companies should make use of from the blockchain from each cryptocurrencies which they're not.
Exactly. It's all
Sad to
trading
see that.
agents, yeah, and all the advertisements I see
Or it's
is
just developers playing around. It's just developers playing around with the features, not taking it as an actual business, and
exactly,
trying to
exactly,
get more users using it. So
ex-
yeah.
exactly, yeah,
Well, agendas are different. The tool is the same.
yeah,
The tool implication at the time was for a different reason, but it is used for many other reasons and good, bad, and ugly. And like apart to be rich, so many people are using that part.
it's good in a way as well because there's a lot of wealth transfer happening to people who are at the right place, who understand the technology, understand the use, and then they take some action. That's also a good thing as well.
Yeah, yeah. And I think in a country like India, it is very, very good because suddenly in the last few years, the internet has become very accessible, very free, and in your palms, through your phone. The accessibility to the world is instant, and with that being already laid down for you, uh, it's very easy. It's like Geo laid down a nice Formula One kind of track for you. All you have to do is just get a nice car, and then you don't have to worry about these potholes anymore. You can drive your supercars on there.
Yeah,
That's your cryptocurrency. I'm looking forward to that actually, because time will tell then that the more number of people like India and China, we hold more people because in population we have more. So the economic growth has to be more because how can a country which has less in population have more economic growth? That's because they're manipulating. That's very clear because in countries like England and USA, they have far less people than China and India. So their still economic growth is very high and their affordability is high. That's because they were riding on the hoax, fiat system, which is printed and you would say something like counterfeited at that level. So hopefully, crypto will bring in that equality to the world.
yeah, absolutely. Great. I don't think there are any further questions. Yeah, if anybody has some questions, you can take them.
Romit and I are from same college, Acharya Institute.
Wow, nice.
Oh, really?
That's how I saw. Yeah,
Oh,
you
Oh,
done
wait, do you
BA,
know
right?
each other?
So no, no, I guess no.
Also
Like
from
you
college.
did BA, right? So I was in BCA, completing my computer
Which year?
application bachelor's.
Which
Actually,
year?
same
Which year?
year. I was passed out this year, like 2019, the same year.
Last year. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Same batch. Oh, okay. I wasn't aware.
Such a big campus, so we didn't get to go. Yeah.
Yeah, but BCA wasn't that far. Right? I think neighboring classes.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks, thanks. Thanks to know that. So, are you working on blockchain, or is it
Yeah,
just front end
on
programming?
yeah, basically like yeah, front end. Actually, I was hired as a Flutter developer for blockchain, specifically for blockchain applications.
Okay, okay. Nice, nice.
well, it's great to know that we meet here from the same college also.
Yeah, for
Amazing.
some reason, these meetups are such a small world. Keep
I
meeting
know,
people
I know.
who we know. Yeah.
So cool. It was really nice to meet up again, and lots of takeaways. And we should do this.
Yeah.
We're having it again on the fourth week, fourth Saturday of every month. So looking forward to connecting with you guys again. Thank you
Yeah.
very much, Akshat.
Me too.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Romit. Thanks, Prajwal.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you, everybody. Yeah, thanks.
Thank you.
See you next time.
Yeah, thank you all. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Yeah.
Thank
Bye.
you, guys. Bharat and Ramanjula. Bye bye.
Thank you. Yeah, bye.
Hello.
Yeah, Rashid.
Actually, Romit. Romit left.
Yeah, he
Did he
left.
left?
Yeah.
Okay, okay. I was not able to go to his LinkedIn and send him a connection, so I thought to ask him.
No
So he's
issues.
asking me
Okay.
for a premium.
Oh, really? So you couldn't join Romit because Romit is on
No, I think you can't message
Premier.
him directly. You may have to send him a friend request first, I guess. I think you can
I didn't
follow
even
him.
see any.
You
Yeah,
can follow him on Twitter. I think he's very active on Twitter.
Did he just
yeah,
send the
yeah,
Twitter?
sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
he did. Radical Romit.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
that's right.
Yeah,
That's it.
I'll just connect with him. Yeah,
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 thank you.
join him on Twitter. He will be happy to message you there.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Thanks, Rakshay. Take
Okay.
care then. Ramanjulu, Bharat, thank you for joining.
Hey,
Thank you.